I'm sure you do love it, but I wouldn't buy it. Searching for a home is daunting and you're probably frustrated and it's tough. It's tough. But look, there are certain types of homes that I will tell my clients, like, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't buy it.
All right, that's it.
I've helped many people over the years, and even in my own personal experience, I've looked at a lot of houses between working in real estate and even for myself, trying to find a house. I've seen a thing or two, and there are types of houses that I would never consider buying. So this week, I'm going to share with you the types of houses that you should never buy. I hope you find value in this, and it'll actually help you save some money in the long run and you avoid some pretty costly mistakes. So I'm going to get into it right now. Let's just go and dive right in. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them down below. If you disagree with me, whatever, that's fine. Let me know what you think. Share your thoughts with me. I want to know. The first type of home that I would never buy are homes that are over 100 years old. I love me an old home. I love old homes. I love the craftsmanship, the architecture, all the unique features. Love them. I wouldn't buy one.
What?
For the most part, these older homes, yeah, they've been renovated, right? They've had probably multiple owners over the 100+ years. There are certain things in these homes, these old homes that, could be potential problems. Yeah, I would never buy one because of this. So first and foremost, it's the plumbing and the electrical. Now the plumbing, these old homes had lead pipes. Now, I'm sure that over the years, multiple owners, I'm sure they've replaced the pipes. Maybe some have not replaced all of the pipes. I've seen that. But the problem with that, you got lead pipes, you're going to have to replace all the plumbing, all the pipes in the house. And, I'm sure you're thinking right in your head now, there's just dollar signs as soon as I say that. Tens of thousands of dollars that's going to cost to replace all the plumbing, all the pipes in the house. So that is a potential problem. And then let's talk about the electrical. Now, back in the day when these homes, were first built, they had what's called knob and tube wiring. I'm sure over the years that has been replaced. My God, I hope it's replaced. If somebody's using knob and tube wiring, that's a problem. But the potential issue is the type of wiring and how old the wiring is. If they change that wiring out, say prior to like 1960 or in the 1950s, the insulation on that wiring is only going to last 70 years. It's not the latest standards where the insulation on the wiring can last 100 years. So that's a potential problem too. You might have to replace all of the wiring. Another issue with these older homes is asbestos. Now, asbestos was used to insulate the hot water pipes to protect them from, like, say, touching the wood in the house and potentially causing a fire. And there was also asbestos floor tiles. So that's another issue too. And if you want to get rid of that, it's expensive. It's expensive, yes. And it's a hazard too. You have to hire a true environmental professional to properly remove the asbestos. That's another issue with these old homes. Another issue is there could be some unsafe features in these old homes. Sometimes these homes have too much charm. And by that, I mean they could have like a laundry chute, dumbwaiter, really steep staircases, low ceilings, non-working fireplaces. Yeah, if you have kids, these could be like serious safety issues for them. So I would not recommend, if you have a young family, buying an old home, especially if you see like the ones with the dumbwaiters and the laundry chutes. And I've seen those, and my God, they're cool. I love them. But now you're going to have to spend money to get those things closed off or somehow removed, so your kids aren't, hanging out in a dumbwaiter, and possibly get stuck, and God forbid, like, worse things can happen. So that's another problem with the older homes, and just another reason why I would never buy one. The next type of home I would never buy is a home in a flood zone. And you're probably saying, yeah, no, duh, I wouldn't buy in a flood zone, but I'm talking about the ones that are specifically in a 100-year and 500-year floodplain. And even if the home's never flooded, I wouldn't do it because, number one, the insurance. Now, here in New Jersey, your average flood insurance is about $1,700 a year, and it could go up to around $5,000 a year. Now, the average cost in flood insurance in the United States, you're looking around $800, just between $800 and $900 a year. A 100-year flood zone means that there's a chance that the area would flood once every 100 years. 500-year zone, same thing. Like, there's a chance of it'll flood in 500 years. I wouldn't be relying on that because of all the crazy storms we've been having. There's still a risk. There's a risk that that house is going to flood. Now, even if the homeowner tells you, oh, it's a 500-year floodplain, we've never had water, doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you. There's no guarantee. I get it. If you love the house, you need the house and whatever, I would be running far away from a house that's in a flood zone. Now, look, if you're buying a house on the Jersey Shore or down in Florida, you're on a beach somewhere near the water, that's another major, major risk. And I wouldn't be taking that on. But if you see that a house is in a 100-year, 500-year floodplain, I wouldn't do it. I would never buy that. The next type of house I would never buy is a home with underground oil tanks. I'm even saying homes with decommissioned oil tanks. Hear me out on this one. You have to check with your individual state and town to see what the regulations are as far as what's required to decommission a tank. Basically, what it is you remove the oil, you replace that with sand. Homeowners should follow the proper protocol with their town or local municipality to get the proper permits, follow the right process, and get to have the town come out and inspect it. And they're also going to do soil testing to make sure that no soil has been contaminated by the oil. Even if that is the case, that has been done, I would want that seller to remove the tank completely out of the ground and test that soil again. If you're in that situation, you come across a house that you want to buy and that seller is refusing to pull out that decommissioned tank, I would not be buying that house because you never know. And even if the paperwork shows that the soil is clean, it was never contaminated, you don't know. There's that slight chance that there was a leak somewhere in that tank, that wherever they tested, whatever portion of the soil that they tested may not have been affected. It could have affected another area of the tank where the oil could have leaked. You're asking for problems. You really are. And it's going to cost you a lot of money to remediate that soil. I just read one today where during this crazy market the past few years where people waived inspections, I hate that. They bought a house, found out there was an oil tank in it, and guess what? Oil got into the ground. It cost these people, you ready? $250,000 to remediate the soil. Yep. No joke. So even if it's been decommissioned, and I don't care if it's gone through the process, they did all the paperwork with the town and everything, get that seller to take that tank out and test the soil again. Make sure it's safe. If they're not willing to do it, I'd walk away from it. Don't buy it. The next type of house that I would never buy are houses that were flipped by LLCs. I'm not throwing shade at these LLCs, these private investors. I get it. You want to get into the real estate business. You want to make money. I totally get that. I understand. But a lot of these flippers I'm seeing are inexperienced. They're hiring inexperienced contractors, and they're doing such a poor job on flipping these homes. The big red flag for me is when I walk through these homes that have been flipped, it's the cosmetic. As soon as I see there's issues with the cosmetic, whether it be, like, say, it's the molding's uneven, the paint job is done poorly. Look, even the paint job, look, I'm sorry. That's a red flag because to me, they were rushing through it. The past couple of years, I've been seeing a lot of these where homes are being bought and they're just to be turned around and flipped because they're trying to capitalize on the market. I get it. Look, that's their right. That's it. They're entitled to do that. But when you do a rush job, what's wrong with the house? What's going on behind the walls that they did not fix? Okay. Or they didn't update. I would steer clear of it. And look, you can go on Zillow. It shows you on Zillow who the owner is. You can also see the history of the sale of the home. So if you saw the house was purchased in, like, say, the last year or 2 years, it was at a low price. Now they're asking for a lot more. And you can see that obviously the house has been updated. Just be very, very careful with that. And if you go through that house and you see, like, I know it's stupid, but if you see like shoddy cosmetic work, yeah, I can guarantee you the rest of the house is shoddy as well. Never buy it. Don't do it. The last type of house I would never buy, homes with over-the-top custom features. You may walk into a house and you see that huge built-in fish tank, 500-gallon fish tank is built into the wall, and you think that is the coolest thing. Or there could be like a secret hideaway room in the house, or you can have a man cave, an over-the-top man cave with just like all the sports memorabilia you can think of, right? You may love that and say, this is so cool. But then after a while, you could get bored with it, and now you want to change it, and it's going to cost you money.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Mm-hmm. It is. So you have to take that into consideration. So say you love that fish tank, and then a few years from now, you're like, yeah, I'm done taking care of fish. I don't want this. Yeah, that's a lot of money to remove that. And then what are you going to do with that empty space? How are you going to fill that in? You have to come up with a whole new design to fill that space, or just close off the wall or what have you. It's going to end up costing you more than, what you had even planned for. Another thing is sometimes these over-the-top custom kitchens can be a problem too. I went and previewed a house for a seller several years back, and they had this custom kitchen they were very proud of. They spent $300,000 on this custom kitchen, mahogany wood, very ornate, beautiful cabinets, but in all honesty, that's not going to appeal to your average buyer. It may appeal to a very small group of buyers that would love that look. So if you say, I love this kitchen, I love the cabinets, you buy it, don't expect the next person who's going to buy your house is going to love it as much as you do. And it might hurt your resale value. So any over-the-top custom things in a house that down the road it's going to cost you in the long run, no. Nope. Never buy it. Here's a little tip for you to save some time. So if you say come across these houses, you want more information on it, ask your real estate agent, number one, to see if there's a seller's disclosure on MLS. I mean, you can't get those on Zillow. You have to ask the agent to provide that for you. That's going to give you the history of the home. The homeowners have to answer all these questions as far as the age of the roof, the HVAC, the water heater, furnace, all the things. It could also tell you if there's any termite damage in the house. Like, they have to answer all of these questions honestly. So ask to review that seller's disclosure before you even go and physically look at the house. Save yourself some time. The other thing regarding flood zones, you're not going to see that on Zillow either. So you need to ask your real estate agent to check MLS to see if that house is in a flood zone. And if it is, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I really appreciate you being here. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like this video. If you need a referral for a real estate agent in your area, please click that link down below in the description box. I would happily connect you with somebody in your area. I hope you found this video valuable today, and thank you for joining me to get your dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.